Have you ever spent years building your dream home on land you actually own, only for a stranger in a blazer to march down your hill and announce your lake now belongs to her community vista? What if she didn't just complain? She filmed your children, called the sheriff, then quietly built an entire paid yoga studio on your dock and started charging strangers for sunset mindfulness? And how satisfying is it when the woman who spent years preaching harmony ends up personally bankrupt, kicked off the board, and fleeing town while you sip coffee on the same dock she tried to steal? My name is Mark Thompson, architecture in Denver. I was done arguing about emotional square footage in windowless rooms. I bought 48 raw acres in Summit County, Colorado, spring-fed lake included, deeded, paid in full. Built the house myself. Cedar siding, floor-to-ceiling glass, a dock that creaks exactly the way I like. A gazebo that catches golden hour like it was custom ordered by God. No HOA covenants. Just wind, water, wood, and the kind of quiet money can't buy. That Saturday was Tyler's 8th birthday. Balloons danced between the pines. Cupcakes melted in the sun. A bubble machine spat tiny rainbows while kids in paper pirate hats screamed about hidden marshmallow treasure like it was actual gold. The grill hissed. Corn on the cob kept rolling toward the fire and getting rescued with dramatic tongs. Our big private property sign stood exactly where it always had. Then she appeared. Not from the road like a normal human. Straight down my ridge from the Ridgeview Summit HOA subdivision above, tablet glowing, blazer starched to within an inch of its life, smile sharp enough to cut glass. "Excuse me," she called loud enough for every kid to freeze mid-chase. "Who is the legal property owner here?" I set the spatula down slowly. "That would be me." She beamed like she just won HOA President of the Year. "Cynthia Hargrove, elected President of Ridgeview Summit Homeowners Association. I'm going to need you to cease this unauthorized gathering immediately." I laughed out loud. She spun the tablet like Vanna White revealing someone's bankruptcy. "This lake is visible from 17 homes in our community. Under Section 4.2 of our Shared Vista Protection Covenant, it qualifies as a common environmental asset. Your unpermitted dock and open flame devices constitute a hazard." My wife Laura stepped beside me, voice sweet but loaded. "Ma'am, you're trespassing. Children." Cynthia was already panning her phone like a National Geographic crew. "All enforcement must be documented. This will be filed with the committee." I smiled wide. "We'll wait right here." 15 minutes later the cruiser rolled in. Deputy Ramirez, older, seen everything eyes. Deputy Lopez, young, already scanning the scene like he smelled nonsense. Cynthia rushed them like she'd rehearsed the Oscars. "Officers, document everything before they hide the evidence." Ramirez looked at me. I handed him the thick manila folder. "Deed. County plat. Drone shots with my boundaries glowing neon yellow. Dock permits." He flipped pages like he had all day. Lopez watched kids chase bubbles and Dad standing with arms crossed, ready. Ramirez finally looked up, gave a quiet chuckle. "Ma'am, this lake isn't in your HOA. No easement, no shared anything except maybe the view you get to enjoy for free. Call us again only if someone's actually dying." Cynthia opened her mouth. "Property law doesn't care about your feelings about sunsets," Ramirez added, already walking away. "Nice place, mister. Birthday, little man." Tyler grinned like he'd just been knighted. Party resumed. Look, the one that said this was only Act 1. That night I walked the property line with a flashlight. Fresh boot prints snaked down my ridge. Deliberate. I mounted new trail cams. Backup. Phone alerts. 2. I wanted 4K proof. Round 2 arrived via Goldfoil HOA packet. 3 pages signed by President Cynthia Hargrove accusing me of visual burden, noise contamination across shared topographical zones, and my personal favorite, non-consensual landscape disruption. They even included a helpful suggestion. stop using the lake and submit future requests to their environmental committee for shared view resources. The same morning someone hammered a brand new aluminum sign next to mine. Ridgeview Summit Visual Preservation Zone. Authorized access only. I yanked it out like pulling a bat tooth and stored it in the garage next to future evidence. By lunch we were suburban viral. In the HOA Facebook group with the caption, "Some people think private land excuses pollution. When one neighbor ignores community standards, all our property values suffer." The comments were poetry. Call code enforcement immediately. That dock is an eyesore. Someone approved that monstrosity? Strangers near the watershed without review? Isn't that how Giardia spreads? Laura printed the best ones and stuck them on the fridge under local mom logic. But the real gut punch came when I walked down to the gazebo. A fresh mulch path now sliced straight from their community trail across my line. 3 cedar benches engraved with Ridgeview Summit. A raised 10 by 12 composite platform sitting pretty on my land. Stacks of yoga mats in labeled bins. And a laminated sign with a QR code. I scanned it. Ridgeview Summit Waterfront Experience. Monday Gentle Flow Yoga. Wednesday Lake Meditation and Toddler Stretch. Saturday Sunset Couples Yoga by donation. Part of the Ridgeview Summit Extended Wellness Network. Access by HOA digital registration only. No outside use permitted. This wasn't petty neighbor nonsense anymore. This was monetized trespass on my private lake. That night the lake was too quiet. The yoga platform sat there like a dare. I realized this had stopped being a turf war and turned into a public safety crime with receipts. 2 weeks later we were in court in Glenwood Springs. Cynthia sat there in the same beige blazer, like it was battle armor that forgot to protect her. Expensive, nervous lawyer beside her. The boy's parents had a personal injury attorney who looked like he cross-examined for cardio. I sat in the middle with a 3-inch binder Laura had tabbed like a symphony score. Prosecutor opened clean and cold. "Your Honor, this isn't trespass. This is an organized series of commercial events held without permits, insurance, or landowner consent, monetized through QR codes on land they do not own, resulting in a near-fatal drowning of a 4-year-old. Evidence hit like dominoes. Satellite images showing the illegal build. Plat maps proving zero easement. Screen recording of the wellness page with donation totals. Bank statements tagged Cynthia Hargrove Wellness Access. Letter from a former board member admitting Cynthia presented corrected maps at a meeting. Trail cam stills of Cynthia herself ushering 20 people past my private sign. The boy's mother took the stand and didn't cry. She just said, voice steady. She told us this was an official HOA amenity. That's the only reason I let my son near the water. I testified straight. The facts were loud enough. Judge Carmichael, older, dry-witted, voice like bedrock, leaned back. In my years on this bench I've seen many neighbor disputes. This is not a dispute. Reckless, and extraordinarily entitled. He ruled like a surgeon with a scalpel. Cynthia Hargrove personally liable for trespass, civil harassment, and fraudulent misrepresentation. Ridgeview Summit HOA liable for organizational negligence. Damages to me, $310,000. Loss of use, legal fees, emotional distress, demolition costs. Damages to the family, $600,000 split between Cynthia and the HOA. Permanent restraining order, 200 feet from my land, zero contact. HOA order to mail every resident a boundary clarification letter and cancel all extended wellness programs. Case referred to the Colorado Attorney General for real estate fraud review. The courtroom hummed with soft shock. A few muffled holy shits. Cynthia stared straight ahead like the floor had disappeared and nobody told her. My shoulders finally dropped. Feels like oxygen. Deputy Ramirez called me 2 days later, voice lighter than I'd ever heard. She's off the board. One of her own people is suing her now. I stood on the dock watching light flicker like someone dropped gold coins under the water. About damn time. A year slid by the way good years do. Tyler's 9th birthday was twice as big. Neighbors, friends, even the deputies swung by for burgers. Curtis brought brisket that made grown men tear up. We ran a treasure hunt with laminated clues because I'm still me. When the kids found the chest, it was full of glow sticks, gummy worms, and a note that said, "Share." Beside the gazebo, I bolted a new walnut sign I carved myself. Family. No Karens. I got a big laugh. Nod and hand squeeze from the mom who once handed her coughing boy to paramedics. No one from Ridgeview Summit showed up. They reshuffled the board twice. Ironic because even luxury condos have rules. Here's what it changed in me. I used to think peace was distance, land, water, and a good fence. Turns out peace is also paperwork. Cameras that keep recording when your temper wants to explode. A wife who turns rage into receipts. Deputies who actually do their jobs. And judges who speak like bedrock. So let me ask you, because this channel is better when we talk. If your private lake is visible from someone else's porch, do they get a say in what happens on your shore? Should a homeowners association ever have power over a view corridor? Or is that just expensive laminated bullying? Was the nearly $1 million judgment justice, or overkill? Drop your take in the comments. In community and control. If you've ever tangled with an HOA, share the exact moment you knew you had to push back, and how you kept your cool. If this story hit a nerve, share it with the neighbor getting buried in violation letters. They might need the reminder that the law still matters more than laminated signs. Subscribe if you want more real stories of ordinary people winning with patience, paper, and just enough stubborn. I'll be right here on the dock with my coffee, watching the light change, grateful the only committee out here is the wind. Here's what this story taught me, and maybe you. HOA Karens thrive on silence and fear. Quiet observation, ironclad evidence, and calm persistence turn their power into their undoing. Document everything. Watch entitlement crumble. Justice isn't loud. It's inevitable when the facts finally speak louder than blazers.